Hello, everyone. Welcome to the debut edition of my new podcast. And for those, by the way, who did me the honor of subscribing to me via, let me get this out of my face a little bit, via it wants to be in my face, via Spotify and iTunes. Thank you for when I launched my podcast in 2014 for subscribing, and for those of you who stayed interested and are still paying attention to what I'm up to, thank you to you. I'm excited to start this. As you can see, it's a video first podcast, but for those who subscribed before on Spotify and on iTunes, your subscription is still valid, and these episodes will be available for streaming via audio. But this is what I call a video first podcast, and I'm excited to do this. As you can see, I've got a pretty new set and cool studio. Invested a lot of time, elbow grease into this, and my first shout out before we really get rolling here is to my wife. She's been super. There's a new Borat movie. We can bring that back, right, honey? Are we able to?
You can bring it back.
I can bring it back. Okay, good. I wanted to send a shout out to my wife because she was super understanding. She's in studio here. As you can see, we can switch cameras, go back and forth. She has been super understanding when I decided I wanted to launch this podcast back in August. She has seen our basement transform to a full-on video production studio. And that, I'm sure, when you find out some of the things we're going to talk about later on, you would understand how that could stress out my wife. And, sorry, okay, I'll stop that now. But, what? It's the Borat. It's the Borat. We watched it the other day, honey. Anyways, the... studio has transformed. My basement has transformed, not only with microphones and things that she's used to seeing, but now video cameras. And my wife is gorgeous. She's a beautiful woman, but like a lot of people, can get camera shy. So thanks, honey, for being on the podcast. No problem. This is great. I'm going to bring your volume up now because you're feeling sheepish, and so we can hear you a bit better there. But
how's that?
That's way better, sweetheart.
Good.
So the news that we have to share with you, my audience, and for those who listen to my radio program with Melanie Martin, Big Mornings on 101.1 Big FM or Big 101 in Barrie, we announced this morning that Lisa and I are going to have a baby. Yay! And our studio executive producer is here, Sarah. Just yell out, hi, Sarah. Hey. Sarah's here. That's my sister-in-law. She's been hanging out here with us the last couple of days, and it's great to just have family around, surrounded by family. Honey, thank you for, since we're having a baby and everything, and I think that's the first thing that people have on their mind is money concerns when it comes to having a baby. So at least I think a lot of people do. So thanks for letting me do this.
Of course.
This podcast. And we're having a baby, honey. Do you want to reveal the gender?
No, you can, because you got to know it first. So you can tell your story about how you got to find out the gender. So
we're not going to burn down a forest or blow up a section of town to announce our gender, but Lisa, she did give me the honor of being the first to know between the two of us that what we were having. And you went to our family doctor and you asked him to not tell you. Mm-hmm. And he kind of blew it though, right?
He blew it, but I mean, he was so good about it, and he just kept talking through it. But yeah, he did kind of blow it. So once you had sort of taken a look at what it was, but again, with everything going on right now with COVID and not being allowed into any of the appointments, and I mean, I think the doctors have given me more feedback. I think just being the age that we are and being a little bit more independent too. We are going to the meetings. I'm going by myself to most doctors' appointments and ultrasounds and everything. So I wanted you to have something so that, you got to see something first. So he did slip up. So when he handed me the envelope, he said, so when she pulls it out of the envelope, when your husband pulls it out of the envelope.
And that's the reveal. We're having a baby girl, which is just, I mean, I'm thrilled regardless. And, not that everyone knows how old I am, but our baby is due April the 11th. And my birthday is April the 2nd. And April the 2nd was going to be my 40th birthday. And so we really feel like this is a blessing, and it's really exciting. And I'm going to be a 40-year-old dad. Honey, we know what I'm doing. We know what we're doing for the rest of our life, for the rest of our professional life now.
Retirement plan.
Yeah. Retirement plan is graduation. That's what retirement is now for us. But I'm so excited to take this journey with you, sweetheart. And the best part is, and as I mentioned, that this is like full of family and everything. And so we revealed this surprise to our parents over Thanksgiving. And because of COVID, because of the pandemic, it was really tough for us to receive the news when, the Prime Minister and the Premier are on TV saying, don't travel, cancel Thanksgiving. And we had these massive plans to tell our family, and we had these visions, or at least I'm very theatrical, as you can attest to, sweetheart.
A little bit.
And so I had this whole scene built up in my head that we were going to, have this big Thanksgiving dinner with the turkey, and then telling everyone and having a big celebration, and everyone but Lisa having a big drink and enjoying ourselves. And so that was really disappointing for us to have that kink in the thing. But we had a steely resolve to push on. And even in the case of my parents, who I would say that Lisa's family is more in our bubble, right, honey? Like our kind of COVID bubble.
Yeah, we see them quite often, and we try to get back. And my mom also has a great setup for us to be able to stay there with a basement apartment that's, separate entrance, fully furnished. And my grandmother's there now too. So she's in her own apartment as well, which is a great situation for staying there. So
yeah, so that's the other thing too. There's a great grandma in the mix here, which is exciting. But yeah, so it's kind of a one-stop shop when it comes to Lisa's family, whereas my family, we went on front porches or back porches to give them the news. But the thing is with the news that we delivered, we also had some cameras rolling. And so we're going to play for you in just a few minutes some of our family's reaction to the news. And obviously, it's all great reactions, but of all a different scope, right? And all amazing and special moments for us. And so we're happy to share them through this podcast as part of the debut, which I think is special. So thanks for being so open with me, honey. I know that every morning on the radio, I'm open and I'm always out there. But, Lisa has a professional life too. And
it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a balance. It helps living in a bigger city now, keeping some privacy and professional separate. But no, this is really exciting news. And everyone that we've shared it with has been really supportive and really, really happy for us. And I mean, it's so, I don't even know what the right word is, like humbling. It's just such a good feeling to know how excited people are. It's been really great.
There was people crying though. Like people cry. People are like,
yeah.
People you don't expect to cry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I told associates, I've told people that I've mentored in my my career, and we keep in touch, and they call me often for things that they need help with or support with, and to be able to tell them the news, like they're just so happy, and it's a really good feeling.
And also on a professional note too, and those who know us or know me, they also know that I get the high profile gig with the radio program, but Lisa's quite a career woman too, and you're even moving into a new role in your company too, which is really exciting for you and for us and for everything, and for the company. Lowe's Home Improvement, by the way. Shop Lowe's. Shop Lowe's. I'm fishing for a sponsor here. Look, I don't want my face behind me. I want a sponsor. So if you want to sponsor that screen behind me, you're more than welcome. But
yeah, I do. I have to give them a shout out because I'm actually getting ready to transition and change roles in my career. And I've been with Lowe's for 10 years now. And when I got a phone call about an opportunity that came up where they wanted me on that team, I think I had found out a few days before about the pregnancy. And, I told them on the phone, I said, I have a relationship with this person. I've worked with them before, but I was really honest and I said, I think I need to just hunker down right now. This has been a bit of a shock in our lives. And I think we're about to take on something that, I don't know if we'll ever be ready for, but here we are. And I don't think changing careers at this point or changing, it is quite a change from what I've been doing. I don't know if it's a great idea. And they have been so supportive and, they've been phenomenal. It's unbelievable the support I've been getting.
Yeah, and from my perspective, Lowe's Home Improvement, for those who don't know the home improvement game, are based in Raleigh, North Carolina. And for a company that's an American company based in Raleigh, North Carolina, pretty damn progressive. The way they totally handled Lisa. And that's the other thing too. I will say, Lisa, honey, this is one of the things I respect so much about you, is your transparency as a leader, as anyone. And I'm sorry, I know you're my wife and I married you for a lot of reasons, and that's one of them, right? You know.
There's another story with that. So, it's kind of funny and it fits into the story about finding out how we were pregnant, but once we found out the news, obviously you were the first to know.
Yeah, thankfully. Thank you.
But my boss was one of the first phone calls that I made. And, I've worked with my boss now for a couple of years. And he, again, I was blown away with the response that I got over the phone. I could tell he knew I was still in shock. But I thought, you know what? This is something when I hear my friends, a lot of my friends have kids and my family, my sister has a couple of kids, and people panic and worry about, when am I going to tell my employer? When am I going to tell my boss? And I thought, you know what? I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to have that feeling that when's the right time to tell them. So
right.
I just made the call.
Just a quick technical thing here. Sarah, can you grab the iPad off the thing over there? It's got to reinitialize Lisa's camera. Look, this is the debut podcast. There's always technical things that go on here. But also, Lisa, you did your makeup tonight, and I don't want to waste your hard work and your efforts, honey.
I've only worn half-face makeup in a while with the mask.
Yeah, well, that's going to say, right? You only have to do your eyes these days in COVID times, right? All right. Da-da-da. And there's Lisa there. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I hate to kill the conversation here. We're going to keep it going in a few moments. I appreciate everyone's patience. Satellite camera. Well, everyone knows the technology isn't perfect, and neither is mine, despite the dollars that I dropped on this studio. There we go. Here we go, Sarah. We'll get that back up on the prop stand over there, and we're back in business. Okay, so, honey, you were saying your job and your company has been amazing, right?
Phenomenal.
And yeah, for a company that's in the deep South, I feel like they were super progressive and super understanding. Oh, we've lost the camera again. I don't know. Hang on, Sarah. It might be on my end here. It's okay, everybody. Okay, anyways, we'll keep going back and forth on this camera. So I feel like Lowe's has been really good, honey, and good to you, and they've done a great job and hiring you for this role. So not only is Lisa going to be having a baby in April of this year, we're going to be having a baby, but also you're starting a new career, baby, on top of it all, right?
Absolutely.
which I'm stoked about. Yeah. And now let's just talk about one other thing. Our baby is a baby girl, and there's Lisa right there. And our baby girl is going to be born in April. And there was a funny thing. We went camping on a camping trip that we didn't know that Lisa was pregnant at that time. We didn't know that you were pregnant and you were exhausted all week, right? Like you were.
It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
we had my two nieces, so they're 3 and 5, and I mean they're a blast to hang out with. They're so cool, but it was exhausting. It was really, really rough. I think I was the first one in bed every night. I was the last one out of bed. Yeah, it was a rough week. But.
Yeah, and so before we headed out on a camping trip, I had got this playlist. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go camping, and I got this one song in my head which started this whole playlist, and the playlist for me, it's like it didn't really make sense to my normal kind of genres. It was like a lot of like roots rock from the late 90s, like Billy Bragg and Wilco and little Tom Waits in there, and Nick Drake was the first track. The song Pink Moon by Nick Drake, if you want to give that a look up. And Nick Drake wrote this song in 1973. He's kind of an obscure artist. But this song, Pink Moon, it was this basis for this entire playlist that I made before we went camping. And I couldn't get it out of my head. And then when we found out that Lisa was pregnant, I started thinking, oh, could it be a girl? Pink Moon, is there some kind of thing happening? I just had this dad rock vibe. I pictured that playlist being played in a Volvo station wagon on the way to the chalet, if you will, like I don't know why, but that's kind of how I had the vision, right? And then we found out it was a girl, and I was like, wow, Pink Moon. Maybe that was an omen. But Lisa, you Googled it. There's even more. There's more to it than just pink and girl.
Well, I just wanted to know. I mean, you hear about the blue moon at Halloween. You hear about different kinds of moons and all these like different full moons that they have. But I had never heard of a pink moon. So I just looked up, when is the pink moon? And the pink moon, the only pink moon in the year, is in April.
Wow. So, yeah. And so the only time a pink moon happens is the month of April. Mm-hmm. Our baby is April 11th. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to say that, there's something there, but there's something there. I feel like there's something there. Could be. I have a superstitious streak. I have been known to have a superstitious streak. So let's play these clips back, honey. I think it's time to play these back. This is, since we're not having Lisa's camera work, what the heck? Let's play some of these back and let the clips do the talking. All right. So we'll tell the story where we were headed down the 401, and we were going to see all of our family. And so it was basically, we stopped in Belleville to see your dad and your stepmom, Wendy.
Yeah.
So this was Rick and Wendy discovering that they're going to be grandparents. And I love the the fact that Wendy didn't want to open the card.
Yeah.
And then your dad was like, you should have opened the card. Should have opened it. And then we stopped in Napanee down the 401 to see Lisa's parents.
Yeah.
And your mom and your stepdad, Brad.
Yeah.
And your nan who lives next door in the granny suite.
Yeah.
And the best part is the amount of Arieses that we have in the family. We are Aries crazy. I'm April 2nd. My dad is April 5th. My cousin is April 5th. Matt, my brother-in-law, Lisa's brother-in-law, is April the 6th. Your mom is April the 10th, Lisa. Mm-hmm. Who am I forgetting?
Will and Nancy. So my grandparents, Brad's parents, are the 3rd and the 4th. There's they're endless. We have so many birthdays in that first 2 weeks of April.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so the Aries thing is so strong, and your mom loves the Aries.
Oh yeah, she's
your mom's
strong.
cuckoo for Aries.
She's into astrology.
Yeah. So when we were going to tell her, I had these visions of your mom. She does this karate thing, like go Aries. She does that. And
She's expressive.
she's very expressive. So I was kind of waiting for that. We didn't quite get what I was looking for at the end of the clip, but regardless, it was an awesome reaction. Here is Lisa's mom and stepdad, Brad. Flip it over. Here's her finding out it's an Aries.
Wait for it.
Congratulations.
She doesn't yell again. Aries. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Yes. Another Aries. And then we went next door. And the funniest part is after we told Lisa's grandmother, she was like, I wondered what was going on with all the hooting and hollering next door. So this is Lisa's grandmother finding out she's going to be a great grandmother.
Thank you. Yeah, and a card for you. Thanksgiving card. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, thank you.
Oh, she's the cutest.
I know. She's got to turn the news off.
Oh my God.
That is my favorite part. Lisa! You're screaming that. I mean, that was just precious, right?
Yeah.
Then we continued on down the highway and we ended up in my hometown of Almont, and we saw my mom on her front porch, and
She didn't even have her shoes on
she
yet.
didn't even have, she has one shoe in her hand. And you know, like she was just kind of like, she didn't have an idea that anything was coming. She didn't even know the camera was on.
Yeah.
So she was kind of taken aback a bit, but here's my mom. Oh, that's me, my face.
Why don't you?
Yeah, we are thankful. Okay, I gotta take the mask off. Congratulations! Wow.
And let me tell you, since Mom was a little bit shocked there, I think she was kind of in a bit of a shock state. But since I have talked to her on the phone every damn day, and she is so excited to be a grandma.
Yeah, this is a first for your parents.
That's true.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, my cousins didn't have kids, and we're kind of a very small family, and this is, I mean, sorry, I should say my cousins on my mom's side did. But you know, on my dad's side, and you know, there's been very few children lately. This will be the first new child in my family in like 19 years,
Yeah.
18, 19, 17, 18, 19 years.
Yeah.
So
We are slightly behind, but
yeah, well, don't worry. Dad let us know. My dad, 3 years ago, and he actually wanted a copy of this letter. He wrote us a letter, basically dated 2017, saying, get on with it. More or less. Anyway, so we've seen my mom. Now we're going to see my dad and my stepmother's reaction, my dad, Eric, and my stepmom, Lita, which was precious.
Open your card.
Oh, by the way, sorry. They wanted us to go out to the back deck, and Lisa was like, open the card. Don't you dare walk to the house with that card and read it on your way through. We're not meeting you on the back porch. All right, here it is.
Open your card.
Inside.
I want to hug you so much.
It's a puppy dog. I see a duck. There's a pill. Flip it over. There's a calendar on the back. No, other side.
Oh my God.
no.
And the award goes to, oh, your camera's working again, honey.
Great.
And the award goes to Lita for Best Dramatic Performance. Woo! I mean, in the best way. You know, like you say, honey, that was a very special moment for the family.
Absolutely.
And you know, you know, just I had to watch that clip. I had to watch that clip like 9,000 times just to desensitize myself, just so that I could, you know, like just so I could not cry here on camera for you and maintain my machismo. And for those who are looking for the machismo, by the way, don't worry. Like this is a softy episode. There'll be dick jokes galore coming on this podcast. Don't you worry. You know, my normal brand of humor will still apply. But like I said off the top, honey, this is so special, and I've wanted for months to scream this from the top of a mountain and just tell everyone. And I was not to get into too much detail. I was just on a what? I was okay. This whole thing is detail. I get it. This whole thing is TMI, too much detail. But anyways. Listen, I was on a Zoom session with a therapist a while back, and he was asking me, you know, are you excited, or are you nervous? You know, new dads are often very anxiety filled, and new dads are often very worried and scared about the future. And you know, you're later in life. Do you have any fears? And he's, you know, he's picking. He's trying to find a thread to, you know, earn his money. And anyways, I said, no, doc. I said, I'm excited. Like, I'm beyond excited to have a baby and to have a daughter on top of that. And even Sarah is in the background here, you know, like we have our nieces, Emily and Ava, which they, you know, are
They're the best.
just absolute dolls.
Well, Sarah and Matt are the best. So, I mean, to have two of their offspring, like they're the coolest kids. I mean, I adore my sister. She's one of my best friends. And,
Yeah.
you know, to have a couple of Marty's traits in there, Matt's traits in there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the best.
Yeah, they really are. And so to know that that our daughter will have two role models who are 3 and 6, 3 and 5 now. Yeah, 3 and 5. And that you know, it's kind of like when you have like a cat. They'll show the new cat how to use the litter box.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, there's that advantageous part of it, and then also there is, you know, the hand-me-downs, which we've already got. We had a huge truckload of hand-me-down stuff, which we sorry, Sarah, we took half of it to the dump, but you know, like it's, but you know, we had a huge hand-me-down stuff, and so I know everybody's rallying to make our lives so much easier. So
yeah, I'm excited for you to be a dad too, and of a girl. I mean, I think it's incredible. I mean, just seeing you being a dad is really exciting, but of a girl makes me really happy because there's a lot of really weird men in the world, and you are not one of them. I mean, you are a stand-up guy and knows how to treat women really well. You and your friends. I've always said that to you guys in the group of you.
thank you, honey.
You are going to be an awesome dad, and she's going to be very lucky to have some pretty cool uncles.
Yeah, she does. She's got some cool uncles. That's the one thing. Oh God! Before we wrap this up, we do have to wrap it up. Obviously, we're having some technical camera stuff back here, but the one thing that I really feel bad about, and I want to give my brother a shout out right now. My brother Nick. We didn't video him. We didn't see him in person to tell him, and that is actually a regret that I have. In that I told him on the phone. I told him on the phone before we told our parents. So I guess he got the honor of knowing first. But I feel bad that we don't have a video for Nick, because his reaction would have won. It would have beat my stepmother's. It would have. His was insane, my brother. And sometimes, you know, it's the people you don't expect. I didn't expect him to lose his wig on the telephone with me when the picture of the sonogram, you know, came through on text. So, yeah. So shout out to my brother here. Thank you, everyone, for checking out episode 1 of Big Kris Live. I have another stream scheduled for Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. No specific time yet, but of course it will be available after the fact. And thank you for subscribing. It'll be available on YouTube after the fact. It'll also be available in audio forms on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well for the normal streams that previous audio podcast subscribers have used in the past. So thanks to those who are my supporters. I do have a Patreon, but I haven't set it up yet. Yeah, I'm going to be plugging that. I'm going to be one of those Patreon people again. So anyway, sorry about that, but it's necessary. It's necessary. I got to pay for all this blinky hardware behind me. So thank you, everyone. Big Kris Live is underway. Episode 1. My wife! Borat brought it back.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, my love, my sweetheart, my everything.
I know you've got some